well, and it will know how to fit into their playstyle. So they're going to have the better teamwork, I'd expect, but it's just, if it comes down to individual skill, I think it could be a close game. Furbo definitely has it. I think we're going live.
They have actually just gone live, yes, Ben. Good eye for that one, as I was just looking myself. See, Furbo Pandas going up against the Rainbow Queens today, ladies and gentlemen. Furbo Pandas in the blue up against Rainbow Queens in the red in week number 3 of ETF2L Season 15, powered by Blackout Gaming. This is Division 1, not the Premiership, with Pledge and Spin. And going on this middle, we see one soldier from the Reds immediately going into the enemy kitchen. It's going to prove some flanking abilities right there. And look at that, Rainbow Queens going straight aggressive. Gets forced right at the bat. Animal goes down, but is a 6 versus 2 exchange, and specifically Spin, the aggression from the Reds was very clear there.
Actually, I'd like to actually say the opposite. In fact, they had a couple of bombs coming from Furbo Pandas, and they just cleaned them up really, really well from Rainbow Queens. And as soon as they had that advantage, then of course, yeah, the aggression from both soldiers coming in with the bombs. And actually, they did really well, Furbo Pandas, to pick off the medic, so that they're not going to be able to push straight onto their last point.
Yeah, it's very clear right there that the aggression was shown. It kind of got counter-measured right there. Now the second point immediately gets picked up. We have 30% on Shifty. That Uber goes remarkably fast. They're just building. Yeah, they're just building very well. Always have to a little bit of double check for these crit streak when both medics pretty much die at the exact same time. As I said before, ladies and gentlemen, this is anyone's game to win. We can see occasionally a pick is going to get picked off. The one thing that I find interesting, though, Spin, I don't know if you've played any of these teams, is that Furbo Pandas actually ran both a sniper and a spy here on last. Let's see, Rock. Rock is just making his way back now at the moment. Doesn't look like they're going to do anything with him. They're just going to switch them both back to scouts, I'm guessing. Rock, are you going to switch? They're not going to switch. They're just going to troll me, Rock. Looks like he's just going to sit his spawn.
I think he's probably just waiting to see if they're using crit streak. Probably just checking for that.
He's
it's like a standard strategy.
He's checking. He's disguised as enemy medic. He's just double checking, and now he knows. Let's have a little bit of a look here.
They've actually got a heavy, and it looks like they're going to just try and take room with this heavy on the push. So they're going to have the extra health just to push in with on this left side for.
We don't usually push with the heavy on the right side, though. At least that's what I feel like. Like, you kind of have this 450 HP heavy sort of coming through this choke point. It's an easier way to deal with than if you do it any other way around. If Furbo Pandas taking that completely to an advantage, as Strike and Revel both end up going down. Obviously, they use a lot of resources to get Revel down. But in the end, with Sperry going down, I think Animal's team, like, the Reds here, they sort of have to fall back. I think this is Blue's point of push. Furbo is going to be able to push a little bit aggressive here. Only 11 HP, though. He's going to have to fall back out of this one. And he'll, now with his medic still sitting there on the left, he'll be trying to ball that scout away. That's not going to work out. And we see the Furbo Pandas dropping back. Soldier jumping in from the front. He's not going to be able to get the medic pick there. The Zol Programmer comes flying in. Mish is going to try, though. He ticks off Sideshow, but that's pretty much going to be all she wrote. And with the Reds trying to push this through, I doubt that's going to work, though. Reveril, unless he gets some sort of sick shot, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. It looks like they are going to fall back, wait for this Uber to join in. And it seems like the snipers might be a crucial part of this entire push, but
they actually just they're actually Ubering in on the left side. So it's just, they're just getting juggled into this doorway, and they're just trying to focus the points. They know they have a slight Uber advantage. It's not enough, and the medic for Furbo Pandas is going to pick it up. They're going to clean up a couple of frags, but I think Animal has escaped, so it's not really a huge big deal. Unless the soldiers are coming in aggressive on second to try and pick him off now. He's taking a lot of damage, and it's a great air shot from Sideshow. Picks him off mid-air. That's absolutely perfect for him, and it's what his team really needed. So it looks like Furbo Pandas are going to be able to take the second point once they clean up this soldier underneath.
They're in these very clear pushes. Usually you see to last no Snakewater. It comes down to this one individual play that costs a rocket less, that costs like 1 or 2 pipes less, you know what I mean, Spin? And exactly there, that air shot from Sideshow there cleared everything out because you use less rockets to do the exact same amount of damage, and it gives them an advantage that they needed immediately to push onto middle right here. 50% versus 5% onto Animal. Very clear your advantage, and surely straight after this one, the Furbo Pandas are going to make their way through to second. The question is, are they going to wait for this Uber, or are they going to put immediate pressure? It looks like they're just going to go into Sol Room now. Are they going to pressure straight through, or are they going to wait for at least a little bit? Yeah, it looks like they're waiting. They're waiting a little bit, and when they're 95, there we go. Now finally they're going to move in slowly from this left-hand side through the Sol Room. Not going to go window. Does spot the stickies. Uber immediately gets popped, though. Shifty just deciding, you know what, screw it, I'm going to Uber this one in. But it looks like so far the Rainbow Queens dodging this fairly well.
Yeah, they really haven't done enough with this. They might get the cap, and it looks like they are. Oh, that's a great timing for the block, but they managed to pick up the cap, and they don't quite have the Uber yet. Animal needs to pick it up. He has it, but I think they've lost far too much for this push. So they lost the point, and they lost 3 players in the Uber. Yeah, it's not really great for them. They're just on last now with their 3 players, and of course the blue team, attacking team on last, has the spawn advantage. They might just try and look to push with this.
Let's see what they're going to do. The Furbo Pandas, I can only assume they're going to get the super advantage going and immediately rock and roll here. I doubt that there's going to be much of a win, though. Like, Animal, from what I know, Animal's always a guy who really focuses the advantages a little, make sure his team is building and all that kind of stuff. You see Mish just sitting right there, hitting that boss to bash over and over and over again, just building that up as fast as he can. There's about 20% or so deficit. It is holdable right now for Animal and his team, but I can only assume that the Furbo Pandas, there you go, double scout, or at least one scout, yeah, double scout actually, coming through that left-hand side door. Animal has the Uber ready to rock and roll here, though, so they're going to be able to counter on. This one is straight off the bat. The kills are coming down, and this is a very, very, very clear win for the Rainbow Queens.
These pushes into last on Snake War are known for being very difficult, and they've been pretty lackluster from both teams. They need to pretty much get out, keep their medic alive, and then use the spawn advantage to push. That's one of the best strategies. And like you say, Rainbow Queens just cleaning up on that push. They're going to take second for free, and it's pretty much just what we saw on the last push, where we had Furbo Pandas doing exactly the opposite. So back to this stalemate situation where both teams have roughly equal Uber, and they're just going to sit and wait, see if anyone can make anything happen.
I doubt anyone's going to pick up a rifle or something like that. It doesn't look like. Strike was trying to make a pick, and actually, wow, Old Grammar coming in there as well. It looks like, are they going to, like, multi-man suicide? Is that a thing? I guess just both soldiers. That seems to be the way of going for the Rainbow Queens here. They're going to end up dropping back, though, losing both soldiers. I can only assume that the Furbo Pandas are going to walk their way in here onto second, get some cap time going, and they're just out of position completely. That's a free point for the people in blue.
Yeah, they gave up a lot to try and get the force on the medic, or the pick on the medic rather, and obviously they didn't get it, so they had to pretty much give up the point in that case. So just back to the last point, hold with both teams on equal Uber. Maybe we can actually see some kind of strategy rather than just Uber slamming against Uber and not really making anything work.
It's from what I've seen a lot, right? Like, let's see, are they going to push it? It looks like they're going to suicide Demoman in. Hildred seems to be okay. So Demoman Soldier Bomb seems to be the way of going right now for the Furbo Pandas. That's more a strategy than anything we've seen so far, Spin. So let's put that out of the way. Let's see if they're going to be able to break through. Are they going to keep Rever on last? They're going to use them with the push. I can only assume he's going to go with them. No, he has actually set them all the way back. And with that Uber Force, if they can get 1 or 2 players, they get 2 already, lose 1 in exchange though. But if they can get 1 more, this is pushable for the Furbo Pandas. If they don't, there might be an Uber advantage out of here. Animal 17 HP, barely going to be able to stand alive there against the power of Rock as he comes in from the side. Hilton now goes down as well, and the Furbo Pandas a little bit too aggressive. Old Grandma does not get Salt there. That Salt actually could have messed a couple of things up for the Reds if that would have landed. It didn't in the end. The registration did not get off, and about a 20% advantage still for the team in red.
Yeah, it was a really smart play by Furbo Pandas, just trying to suicide to get the Uber Force while they can hold second with their superior spawn times. They just didn't really execute well, and yeah, as you saw, it just didn't work out so well for them. But again, they didn't lose the point, and nothing really going too badly for them. Hildreth just picking off MSH just quickly at the end of that push. We're looking like we have a soldier from Rainbow Queens trying to make something happen in the lobby. Shrike just wandering about, seeing if he can get a nice pick off, and he looks like he's going to go in for the medic. He's taken 1 rocket. Shifty dodging really well, nice surf, gets behind the rocks and behind the boxes, and he survives. Yeah. So they're now going to have a pick push into last, and they also have the Uber advantage, so this could be the one that finally breaks.
Yeah, let's have a look, as now we're coming from the lead. Rock gets 1 headshot, doesn't get a kill with it though. Rock actually going down to the Spammer's Berry. That is definitely not helping out for them, as they get some cap time, they get the damage done. Mish goes down. We can see slowly, they're making their way through. Can they do it, though? They get 3 in a row, but they have to clean this one up, and it's only 2 now versus Revril. Can Revril, the Israeli scout, can he manage to go absolutely mental for his team? It's 100 HP versus 81 HP in both players, who end up rocking the point, and Logs.tf, now known as the Furbo Pandas, are going to be able to pick up the first round here on Snakewater. And as always, Spin, we can analyze this over and over again. That Snakewater last is dreadful to push.
Yeah, I think because of the big Uber disadvantage for Rainbow Queens, they just tried to make some play on the medic to try and get themselves back even, and obviously it didn't work out for them, gave themselves an even bigger disadvantage.
Let's have a little bit of a look here on middle. As are we going to see these aggressive play coming out? Now, finally, we see a red soldier jumping in. The blue seems to be able to deal with it perfectly fine as Furbo and Stu pick up 2 frags, or 1 frag each, sorry. Now Rock picks 1 up as well, equally distributed between the entire team. And it's a 6 versus 3, very clean middle by Furbo Pandas. No real mistakes, waiting for the aggression to come into them, and analyzing it, initiating it, and then going on from there.
Yeah, that was really good. That's having played with them, I know that's one of Hildrift's favourite middles. He calls it his reactive middle, and that was pretty much their better teamwork, just showing through on that push. You can see they just wait, like you say, clean up the aggressive players, and then they just take their advantage and push across the point. And like you see, they've managed to take first, mid, and second, all for free.
Now, analysing this last bit a little, Spin, because this is a topic that has been heavily discussed, from what I know, among Premiership players, among, I think, even American players were in this discussion. How do you push this last? Because the most effective way of pushing last is by suiciding a minimum of 2, maximum of 4 players in, forcing the Uber, and then re-pushing when you have the advantage.
Yeah, it's a really common strategy, like I say, because the attacking team has the better spawns, so as they come out, you force their Uber, and then the defending team tries to push onto second with that. And you can just use your Uber with your remaining players to just defend the point as your spawns come in. Hopefully get a couple of frags.
The spawns are quite fast. Like you see Hildred, he just suicided in, he's 5 seconds away, right? Like, it's not that long.
Actually, Rainbow Queen's electing to push out with the Uber advantage, so with the Uber. And it's just Uber v Uber on the point at the moment, but they've got quite a bit of cap time. This could work out really well for them unless Furbo Pandas manage to get something in behind. Furbo Pandas are just waiting far too long on the grass right now, and they're just not getting the frags they need. It's just a war of attrition at the moment. Someone just trying to pick off one or the other, and it's coming down to focus. I think Furbo Pandas will have the disadvantage with the positioning.
Except for the fact that Furbo came from the back, shot down 2 players immediately. I think the flank, I don't think the flank, like, this is the thing, right? They lost, you can see Shrikey spawning first, and Olgrama actually just spawned as well. With the 2 soldiers spawning very early, it means they died very early, which means the flank was a little bit uncovered. And obviously, Furbo just immediately using that to advantage, the name holder of the team, coming in from the side, gets 2, and immediately helps his team to victory on that point. It did not get picked up. Actually thought that was one of the best things that the Rainbow Queens did there, is just not focus the point, but in retrospect, they might have been better if they actually did.
Yeah, Furbo did some really great work, just getting the kills on the flank there.
A massive Uber now coming in from the side. Let's see if they're going to be able to pick this one up. They're moving slowly in, and they've used the entire Uber, but they're still sitting in that corner. You can sit there without using an Uber as well. And I think, really, Furbo, they might be suiciding in. Zoop gets 1 rocket. Actually, the 1 is going to be able to finish off Animal. I think he caught a little bit of spam before that. I did not catch that, as Animal did, apparently, because he would not have gone down to that rocket. And with Animal going down there, if Shifty can manage to get himself into a proper position, which he has done already, like, you don't even have to hold this second point to still be in good shape with this massive advantage.
I don't know, for me, I think they should have defended it. They had the people available, and they didn't have a medic. Rainbow Queens didn't have the medic available. So why not just push in? But then again, like you say, they just managed to take the point for free. I guess Rainbow Queens should have been trying to get the force out of Furbo Pandas for that one, but they haven't, so Uber disadvantage on the last point for them.
But they're going to go from bottom this time around. What do you think of this spin, usually? Like a bottom strategy where you have an advantage?
Yeah, it's a really good strategy because it's like the closest one to reach the medic. You don't have to Uber so early often because the demo doesn't stick it. So they've come in just getting a nice couple of frags. Although they have 1 in return, it's not such a clean push as they might have liked. Rainbow Queens players are grouping up all on one side there, and it's just going to be easy for Furbo Pandas to just clean up.
Yeah, it was not very clean, but in the end, it did end up working out. They only lost Rock in the process, so I guess it still worked out. We can criticize all we want, Spin, but so far, the Furbo Pandas are not looking too shabby. 2-0 scoreline at the moment here on CP Snake. What is week number 3 of ETF2L Season 15, powered by Blackout Gaming, hosted here on Team Fortress TV with Pledge and Spin, and Warden on the camera. Third middle now going live. So far, we've seen both teams going aggressive once, and it looks like it's the turn of the Reds this time. Just have a little bit of a look here. Zoob gets the second pick there on Olgrama. I'm not really feeling the health on the Blues, though. It looks like the scouts are doing massive work, though, as we see Rock and Furbo again. I think Furbo and Rock are having a pretty massive game so far, Spin. I don't know about your input on this, but anytime it's the right moment for a scout to move in, they seem to be there.
No, I'm always was really impressed by the Furbo Panda scouts. Even when Sheepy was in the team, it was the same. So Furbo really is his defensive scout. Gets a lot of work done, and he picks off the aggressive players on that middle and just pretty much wins it for them.
Let's have a little bit of a look here. It's the Uber charge and do get exchanged here. It looks like Shifty. Yeah, Shifty's out of position onto this one. Can he get out of there in time? Yeah, I think he barely will be able to make that. 50 HP. Yeah, very, very solid there as he gets the hell out of there. Both soldiers now he gets taken down by Refro coming in from the flank, and the Reds finally managing to find a hole in the very clear Furbo Pandas defense so far. Moving around to middle, this should be a clear one. The most important thing so far, right now, is to keep the Latvia medic animal alive. If that guy goes down, stuff might go wrong. But if he stays alive, I don't think there's anything standing in between them and the last point of the Furbos.
Sideshow trying to get something done in second, but there isn't really a lot he can do, so he just gets picked off by Sparry. And it's a 3-second point for Rainbow Queens. They're going to have the Uber advantage. They need to try and make a push nice and early, I would, before the spawns come in, and then re-push with your Uber, but they're not going to. They're just going to play the safe option, get their Uber and try and push in. And typical of this last point, we have a heavy on last for Furbo Pandas, and they're just going to try and turtle it up, as is common when you have the Uber disadvantage.
Yep, they're going to go from right-hand side. No Uber whatsoever for the Blues, but so far not too bad. Furbo's gone down, Zuba's gone down. It is a 5 versus 4 point, and this should be a clear pickup. Well played by the Rainbow Queens, as they're going to be able to pick up around here. And we have a 2-1 scoreline, and this sort of fits into the expectation that we had before the game. It's very tough to call, and they literally need 30 minutes of their full attention in order to get a good scoreline out of this map. And Snake Water, always a hard one to predict, always a hard one to cap. But so far, these teams not doing too bad. 2-1 is the scoreline, 4th middle going live, and so far, every time the aggressive team has lost, and it looks like the Reds are more aggressive than the Blues this time around.
Yeah, the difference is just the focus on the aggression, and like we said before, both teams are sort of in their infancy, so to speak. Even though Furbo Pandas have been around a lot longer, this roster is pretty new. So it's just coordinating the aggression. This big jump in from Revril gets completely onto the medic without being seen, but he gets cleaned up. So
6 kills from the soldiers, Spin.
All
That's
from
what
the soldiers.
Zub and Sideshow both got 3 kills that middle. Yeah, it's very clear that the core of Furbo Pandas, they're standing exactly where they're supposed to so far this game, and it's very tough to actually break that.
As I was expecting, they just have a bit more teamwork than the newer Rainbow Queens, and I guess it's shown for them on these middles, especially where they have a little bit more tactics, they have a little bit more structure. Shifty, I thought, just took a massive rocket, somehow didn't actually take any damage. It looked like he got launched by the rocket, but some magic there from him. I'd like him to give me whatever he's using.
Yeah, there was a med pack in midair. I think that was it. It's I don't know. I saw the same rocket as you do. It just didn't hit him, which makes for a quicker person to last there. That's for sure. So the scout soldier medic combination is going to come in. Shifty himself actually trying to stall some people to death here. Not going to work out, but the round gets picked up. So we have the 3-1 scoreline right now coming out for the Furbo Pandas. So far, I haven't really seen a lot of mistakes coming out of the Blues just yet, Spin.
Yeah,
is there anything you've seen so far?
The Furbo Pandas are looking a lot stronger. They're making, generally fewer mistakes. You can see on their last pushes, like that one was just very structured. They pushed onto the point when they knew they had the Uber advantage, so they forced the medic back towards the spawn doors. And on the mids, it's exactly the same. The aggression comes in this time from Shrike. He jumps on, and he's just taking up the damage, has to get forced back. But the demo goes down early for Furbo Pandas. In fact, they get some nice kills. So the aggression really working out for them this time. Zub also going aggressive, picks up the demo, but he gets taken down before the medic can go down. So this time, aggression's actually worked really well for them. They've come in, and it hasn't been absorbed so well by the Furbo Pandas. And they're going to have the medic ready to push for last. So it could be a quick round if they get their act together and push last nice and quickly.
Now, you said earlier that the Furbo Pandas, they play this reactionary middle. It didn't seem to work out for them that time around. I think mainly because Old Grandma Shrike hit all 8 of their rockets, basically, at the exact right time. Like, obviously, 6 of them in total, because they used 1 each to rocket jump, but they hit all 6 of them, did massive amounts of damage. They ended up getting a couple of frags with that, now pushing on to last, and we've seen this push already. Can they do it this time around, though? Focus the heavy, take him out, Rock has gone down, there we go, 6 versus 5 now, and with Furbo switching from Sniper to Scout, he's going to have to try and save the day. So far, so good, as finally, Revel and Old Grandma themselves jumping into there, getting 4 frags between the two, and now with a 3-2 scoreline, everything is open once again.
Yeah, that was just it. Suddenly Rainbow Queen's getting a little bit of a little bit of success on the middle and they can push last with an advantage, and you're showing their superior DM, I guess. And they've done really well to just push and take that point quite quickly. So let's look to see if they can keep that up.
Both demo men up against each other. And so for Sperry and Hilbert, it seems to be quite even towards each other. Are the soldiers going to go aggressive? Yes, they are! Look at that bomb coming in all over the place. Strike dealing a lot of damage and actually making sure that Shifty drops to the floor, as old Grandma and Revro are going to be able to follow up on that one. They need to keep Animal alive, though. It is a 4 versus 3. Hilbert going aggressive down the side. Safari, aka Sperry, completely getting ruffled. They need to keep Animal alive, but he's now dropped to the floor, and it is a 2 versus 2 now, as Shifty only respawning. It was technically a 2 versus 1, excuse me, as I missed that. But Shifty only now respawning, got his players with him, and Shifty, you German friend, he's German, right? It's the right Shifty that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, German, South African, crazy nationalities, this guy.
Yeah, he's a little bit crazy, but he could have gone crit streak here. I'm a little bit disappointed that he hasn't, not gonna lie.
I don't think he really needs to. If you saw the timing of Animal's death, so Shifty died really early on the middle, and Animal died a full mid-fight later, so his spawn is in fact going to be 20 seconds delayed. They're going to have a 50% Uber advantage, even though both medics died on the middle. So,
okay, fine, but explain to me what Furbo's doing on Sniper then, because that choice doesn't make any sense to me if you're going to push.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't see why Furbo would have swapped. Maybe they didn't realise that. Maybe they don't realise that the difference in the medics dying. I guess they're just thinking both died on middle. But no, they're looking to push. So for me, the Sniper choice is really, really off.
Well, if he makes 3 headshots, we're going to be eating our words. But so far, it's looking very good for the Furbo Pandas. They are moving in. Furbo himself getting pretty much useless, let's be honest there. Not hitting anything, not really getting the chance to hit anything. He used to scout, it would have been perfectly fine. Sniper coming in from the back, Soldier coming in from the back, excuse me. And we can see now, wish you can back up all you want, but when there's ×5 with only 10% left to cap, there's nothing going to happen there on that back cap. Animal is an Uber, though.
It was a little bit disappointing, I think. They split up really well in the middle to sort of deny the Uber, and then they just end up all getting cleaned up afterwards. We got Furbo trying to come in to make a pick on the second point, just sniping really, really aggressive at the moment. But Rainbow Queens I don't even know where they are. They're all the way defensive back on the last. They're gonna walk out with their Uber and try and contest second. I guess Furbo Pandas are gonna try and Furbo's just trying to take the shot, but there's really nothing for him to take at the moment.
I'm a little bit confused as to why they're so far down, Spin. Like, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't either. Maybe they're not tracking the Ubers properly because they let them get the Uber then. They could have easily come to second and they wouldn't be having to Uber to defend second now. They'd be forcing the Uber on the push in. And it's pretty much just a standard Uber trade, and it looks like Furbo Pandas are gonna win from having no advantage at all to just getting a point for free. It's a bit of a shame.
Yeah, the Rainbow Queens didn't commit
there.
They didn't commit there whatsoever. They decided, you know what, we're too far out of position. They could have been in position throughout the entire fight. I guess they were either intimidated by Furbo or they were just not feeling it. And now with players dying left and right, this is as clear of a point as you can. And there were a couple of questionable decisions, I think we can call them, Spin, to be completely frank, throughout that round for the Reds. With an Uber advantage, they were holding passive. And even though they held that middle reasonably well, they were too aggressive on it as well. Overall, a little bit of a messy round for the Reds.
Yeah, they're showing a little bit of their inexperience as a team. You're seeing people die really late in fights where they don't need to die, and just getting picked off individually, which is giving them a constant disadvantage. If they can sort that out, I think they have a reasonable chance of getting back into this game.
Yeah. With 7 minutes left on the clock, though, it's do or die time right now. Look at that Soldier coming in, strike once again, getting a lot of damage, but with old Grandma going down, they're losing a lot. Animal actually catching one pipe there as well, and that spells disaster all over the Rainbow Queen's middle there, as they're going to just drop out, run with the tail between their legs. Absolutely nothing they can do. As Mush gets a pick onto Zoom.
Yeah, I want to give Shifty a big commendation for that middle. He had this aggressive Soldier come bombing in. They both jumped him on grass. He had an awesome surf round into window room, and so he just escaped with like almost no damage done to him. So really great work from him, and he's just kept himself alive. Picked off 2 soldiers in favour of Furbo Pandas, and they're able to just push last with this. But Animal did stay up, so it's not going to be a free last point for them.
6 minutes left. 2 caps ahead. Would you push last there?
Yeah, of course. I think you
just hate the defensive play in general, I guess.
No, I mean you can play defensive with 6 minutes. It's just too much of a risk. I mean Snakewater, okay, you can turtle up, but yeah, I'd be pushing last every time. You got to treat the game as if it's just going on as is. You add an extra round, and that really piles the pressure on.
Both teams got a force though, but now it's a 5 versus 3 on last. Strike is about to spawn in about 1 second. Can he be the life savior here for the Reds? It doesn't look like it. Asperia's gone down. Point is going to get capped, and we have a 5-2 scoreline already on the board. So I'm guessing everything you said, Spin, so far has been 100% spot on. 5-2 so far for the Logs, also known as the Furbo Pandas. They keep changing names all over again, guys. I cannot keep track anymore. I know they're officially called Furbo Pandas, but when I see the team name Logs.tf, you're going to confuse me, guys. That's the way it works. 8th middle now coming up, and really it's do or die time once again for the Reds. They need to make this happen, and need to make it happen in like 2 minutes maximum.
Yeah, they need to be aggressive and get the picks this time. The Oxers play quite a defensive middle, but they are getting the superior damage this time. It just comes down to whether they can focus. The scouts on the top right have done quite a bit, but been denied by Zoob. Zoob on the Roma has done a really great job, and they've got a lot of positioning now. Furbo and Rock have both gone down there, so if this goes to a long fight, the scouts will probably clean up.
Crits. Oh my god, we have the crits here for the Reds. I can only just see as Animal is going to pop that crits, get the shot onto Hildred. I suddenly saw a sparkle, and I barely managed myself from not being terrible at casting. You can see 2 people now getting taken down. Well played by Strike. They did every single rocket, but exactly what he was supposed to do. Shift to get out of there, though, so well played to him. 80% on that regular Uber charge. And that actually might prove to be very, very valuable to them here in just a matter of time.
That's really important, because if they lose that Uber, they might lose that round very quickly. But with the Uber, they're going to delay it for at least a minute or so. So it's really going to pile the pressure on, like I said. So yeah, Shifty doing good work to escape from their crits.
Let's see a little bit here. 90% on that crit streak. It might look like they're a little bit too aggressive. Can they get a force of the Shifty? Like, that would be massive, right? If they can, but doesn't. Okay, they have. Okay, so Animal's dropping out now with his demo, with his soldier actually. 2 scouts on the flanks, gonna be forced to crit streak. He got it. The scouts though. Furbo's gone down. Can they manage to pick off Rock though? We see a scout now with the crit streak and a downman coming in. I think the Reds might be able to pick this one up. 1 scout behind, can they pick him off? Yes, they can. As the Serbian Rock there drops to the floor. They're gonna move their way through. And they probably, in my opinion, they should already be rushing last year. Spot that heavy, spot that sniper.
I think this is what they're saying. Like Zoob switching to heavy. They're just trying to turtle it up now, and that really can like work against you if you if you're not composed. You can start to show you're stressed and you make mistakes. And I think that's a little bit of what happened just then with Furbo Pandas, but it hasn't really cost them too dearly. It's cost them the 2nd point, but I mean, Rainbow Queens really need to push now and get a point now if they're going to make this a draw.
There's stickies though, but there's 1 crit rocket coming straight through. 2nd crit rocket does not actually land there, and Strike has gone down, but it's a sort of duel fight. And I think in those duel fights, I don't think the Rainbow Queens are going to matter all that much, because their DM is absolutely spot on. It is a 3 versus 2 right now. Can I manage to finish this one off? It looks like they might. Here we go. And with 2 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock, this is the time, right, Spin? This is it.
This is the thing, like, Furbo Pandas are really showing that they're stressed, and they've just given all the momentum to Rainbow Queens. If they really want a good middle now. If you get a good middle, that's A, going to limit the time they have left, and B, going to just keep stamp their authority back on the remaining minutes of this game.
I think the Blues are going to have to expect the crits here. Like, I would not be surprised if Shifty's already, and Hilden's already told his team, they have crits! Just stay far back, or either go in when you have a decision. Mushes end up going down. Hilbert gets 1, Citra gets 1, and it's probably the nail in the coffin, though, ladies and gentlemen. Unless Sperry, with 8 HP, can get 6 frags on the board, but no, he cannot. And as there's a clean wipe coming out with just Furbo going down to the floor, that means that probably the Furbo Pandas are going to be able to pick up this first round here.
Yeah, that's exactly what they need, just to keep the composure, go into the second map with the momentum advantage, and that's exactly what they've done. They've come out with a really strong last middle. It's going to upset Rainbow Queens a little bit. I can imagine them getting a little bit disheartened at that. They had 2 minutes left to try and push 2 rounds. They have to play aggressive, and they just got completely shut down on the middle. So, in fact, Furbo Pandas might looking to try and take a final, maybe just a final round before the game is over.
Let's have a little bit of a look here. If they can pick up that 6-3 scoreline, it looks like so far they've gone in pretty successfully. Furbo actually switching to that spy. Don't know if there's going to be much that he can do. Zoop still sitting on the side here. Going to be trying to pick this one off. And where's Furbo? You know what, guys? That's the way it works. There you go. He gets Animal with a side stab. Not even a back stab, but Animal was weak enough to be able to get picked off there by Furbo. Now Scout jumping in. Where was that? It was a soldier with a pain train.
Sideshow the pain train, yeah.
Because he's jumping in.
Everyone knows this is over now. They're just going to keep rushing for the point.
Yeah, might as well, right? 50 seconds left on the clock, and I've been sort of I've been mentioning a reasonable amount of time spent there. round difference can actually mean something. Like, if you think about it, in the future, like in the low Premiership where you're sitting yourself, or in the high sort of areas in Division 1, round difference might actually end up biting you in the face if you don't get that extra round in certain scenarios. It looks like Furbo Pandas not going to be able to pick that one up. Unless they can do some sort of miraculous stuff in the next 20 seconds or so here left on the clock. They're going to try, but Sideshow Shifty going down. That is pretty much going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. And 5-3 is a scoreline which we might not have expected on Snakewater, but it's as close as we expected in retrospect.
Yeah, pretty much. That's exactly what I would have expected. Furbo Pandas just showing that they have a little bit more teamwork, and yeah, kept it together. Managed to hold on at the end when it looked like they were under pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did pretty well.
106 points on Shifty.
Really, 106.
106, yeah. At the end
pretty
of
impressive. Yeah, I think he had a good game.
It's not too bad, is it?
I think honestly, both medics had a good game, apart from some poor Uber timing at some situations, but generally not the worst. I guess both medics were often escaping on middles, which is really crucial for holding the last point. I think there was only one round that went really quickly. So yeah, I think both teams aren't really having a terrible game. It's coming down mainly to Furbo Pandas having played together longer. Shifty knows the guys in the team well, so even though he's playing in a different class, he can just meld with the team much better.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we'll have to wait and see how it's going to go on the second map. Second map is going to be Granary, ladies and gentlemen. Good old Granary, which we haven't seen yet this season. Snakewater obviously was in week 2. Granary has not been shown yet this season, so we're going to have to wait. What kind of strategies are we going to see from these teams? Rainbow Queens are going to have to bring it. They lost the first map 5-3 in a relatively close one, but the Furbo Pandas, they look solid. Like there's no hole in their defense anywhere. They're going to have to try and find it, the Rainbow Queens, or force it down their throats, as I like to say. Thank you so much for watching. Second map is going to come up here in just a little bit at Team Fortress TV. This is the ETF2L Season 15, sponsored by Blackout Gaming, and this is week number 3, ladies and gentlemen, between the Furbo Pandas and the Rainbow Queens. Can the Reds pull it back? We'll be right back.